I had no idea that Georgia has so many like data centers, and I don't know how I feel about that because, like I said before in earlier videos, we're still learning a lot about them and the effect that they have on our communities and the environment. So, I'm on the fence. What's going on YouTube? It's your host Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about a data center that they're proposing to put up in Roswell and how the people in the community are feeling about it. But before we jump too far into that, I want to talk about what a data center is. I did get a comment that's pretty much asking and saying that I should explain what a data center is before I talk about it. So essentially what they are is that they're physical facilities that have storage units, they have servers, and they have networking gear that pretty much make it easier to distribute data to streaming services, AI apps, and online banking, right? It's pretty much a central hub to make it easier for you to use like your online services on a day-to-day basis. All right, so let's jump right in.
New tonight at 10:30, data centers remain a hot button issue across our state, raising questions about the local impact. Tonight, the city of Roswell approved a moratorium on data centers. And Atlanta News First, Joe Gorcho explains why the move was made on the very night the city's newly elected leaders were sworn in.
I solemnly swear that I, Mary Robichaux,
Roswell's new mayor takes her oath alongside several of the city's newest council members.
Our place gives you so much and makes your life good. It's your responsibility in a certain way to make sure that that's passed on to the next generation.
Part of the effort is patience in considering any data center proposal.
So what are the resources that are needed to run these data centers? We're not saying that we won't ultimately maybe allow one.
all those in favor, please raise your hand.
On Monday night, the city unanimously approved a 90-day moratorium to allow time to consider land use standards related to potential projects, utility use, and potential environmental issues affecting key resources, such as the Chattahoochee River that runs through the city.
Public policy should always be looking 10, 20, 30 years ahead, not revenue cycles that are a quarter ahead or a couple of years ahead.
I completely agree. He's absolutely right. And I think, especially in the case of states like Georgia, right? And what I mean by that is Georgia was created, I can't say created. Georgia and its infrastructure, you can tell, especially when it comes to Atlanta, was made with the idea of the here and now and maybe 5 years in the future. They didn't think so far out. That's why you see a whole lot of construction going on, right? I believe personally that when they were creating certain cities and certain towns in Georgia, they weren't expecting the influx of all these different people. They weren't expecting like these cities to be so full with people. Now they have to expand the roads because the traffic is horrendous. It is terrible. It is so bad. The people today are suffering because of that. And in this case, it's the same thing. He doesn't want it to be a situation, and neither do I, where we're just looking at the here and now. We're looking at the revenue stream and going, okay, well, this is going to be good for us in this revenue cycle. We want it to be a situation where we can look at it and go, okay, 10, 20, 30 years from now, we're not looking back going, damn, this kind of effed up our neighborhoods. Like, it made it so that you can't live this close to this, data center, or it made it so that, hey, look, the wildlife here, whatever have you, is, decimated. That's my biggest concern, right? Because like I said before, there's a lot of contention about these data centers, and I've done my research a little bit when it comes to like the effect that they have, and for the most part, it does not seem like it's a positive one. It's kind of a net negative.
Eric Wood, the lone resident to speak on this topic at the meeting, lives in Roswell and expressed concerns noticing the statewide trend. Georgia is one of the states riding a wave of data center expansion if everything continues to go according to plan.
Can Roswell make a lot of money on tax revenues from data center? Absolutely. But could we better use that land to serve people in Roswell for 30 years from now? Absolutely.
A report by the University of Georgia's Carl Vinson Institute as of December 2025 found that our state had about 63 active data centers, 35 under construction, and nearly 250 announced. The majority, as you can see from the map, from that report are located in the Metro and Fulton, Douglas, Fayette, Walton, and Cobb counties.
I think that moratorium gives us that opportunity to understand what is going on, what more data do we need to collect before we make a decision one way or the other.
So the moratorium on new data centers within the city will remain in effect until roughly around mid-April. At that time, we should get a better understanding how the local leaders here feel about data centers and their potential impacts within the city and on the local environment.
I could agree with that, and I like that. My thing is this: who's going to keep them honest, the local officials, when it comes to really analyzing and seeing the effect that it has on the city and the environment? Because is it going to be someone independent that's going to be looking at this going, okay, well, this is the numbers, these are the stats, this is what we learned from having this, here for 90 days? Or is it just up to their discretion? And then not only that, after they make a decision, before they make a decision, is it going to be up to the people of Roswell to come in and say, hey, look, this is how we feel about it, X, Y, and Z? Those are the questions that I have. Like I said before, I'm going to be looking into this and paying attention, because the bit that I've heard when it comes to having these data centers in certain parts of cities and neighborhoods and communities is nothing good. I am not saying that we shouldn't have them, because with our advancing technology and us evolving when it comes to how we communicate and everything like that, data centers are seemingly becoming more and more prevalent, because like I said, they are integral when it comes to streaming services, when it comes to AI, and everybody's using AI. Everything is about to start using AI. I mean, most social media is integrating AI and using AI, and we don't even know it yet. So I do see it as being an important part of our development as, society, but safeguards and safety rails need to be put in place, because we don't want to find ourselves up shit's creek because we just jumped headfirst into something and didn't realize the repercussion that it had. But besides that, yeah, in this case right here, this moratorium, I can't pronounce it, don't judge me. I could get behind it. I can get behind it. Yeah, I think a lot of cities should do something like this, because we really need to be sure that we're making the right decision. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. Do you feel like all these data centers are going to be a good thing in the long run? And then not only that, did you know that all those data centers were active in Georgia and then announced? Because I've seen some, and I've done work around them and everything like that, so I knew there was a lot. I didn't know it was that many. That's a lot. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about that. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.